Good Friday morning, Sonar family. This is Jules. And anyway, this week moved right along as they tend to do these days. I got some new gear coming. I got some hella hoops that I'm going to fit onto a snare drum that doesn't have hella hoops, which is the only reason why you would put hella hoops on a snare drum. And got a new highlight exclusive 14 by 7 in black. This is copper hardware, or excuse me, chrome hardware, not copper. And a signature snare stand. I'm going to have some fun with that. What I'm going to do, I've got a 4000 and a 600. So we're gonna have a comparison video of those two stands, and then we're going to compare that to the what used to be the top of the line, back in the day. And so I think that'll be a fun deep dive. And I know there's at least one area where the 600 series is actually better designed than the signature. And there could be more. So we're going to take a look at that. We're going to look at weights and the whole thing. So that'll come out to you probably in the next week or two. And aside from that, um, working on some I'm working on trying to have new content every Saturday morning. Right now, it's not practical. Uh, right now, I can't get interviews lined up frequently enough. The channel just doesn't have enough momentum and visibility. So there are certain artists that that I got them on the hook, but it's hard to get them locked in on something because they're busy. I've said that numerous times, and I'm probably going to find something else to talk about besides why certain artists aren't doing these interviews. You know, in the time frame that I would like. So what I'm going to try to do is fit in some other things to launch at 4 o'clock in the morning on Saturday mornings instead of having dead air on the weeks there's no interview. So tying into that, there are some things brewing on the forum, on the drumandstage.com/forum. And I'm going to have a separate video speaking to that today, but I'm going to go into it briefly here. We're going to have some involvement for the Sonar family on there, like I don't know if they're ever being anywhere on the planet. If you haven't joined that, I highly recommend you do. And so when this thing kicks off, the activity we've got planned, it's actually going to be to start with. It's going to be for a small group, so we start out with things under control. We, don't have too many people involved in case it kind of gets crazy. And it's going to be for people actively posting. So if you want to be involved in that, please join. It's drumandstage.com/forum. Please join. Please participate. If you want to put pictures of your current gear or your old gear or both or whatever you want to do, there are all sorts of areas for anything sonar wise you can think of. If you find something that there's not a spot for, we will make one. This thing is less than a month old. I'm pretty happy with the membership so far, pretty happy with the participation. We've got one or two people aside from myself that are in there actively posting and trying to get it built up and trying to make it a destination for information. Sonarmuseum.d, that's .de. They've got a lot of, catalogs and, other resources on there. And so we're doing things, a little bit with a different flow than that. This is a lot of interaction. So, uh, and we're not repeating the catalog lists and all that sort of stuff. That's all out there. That's at the sonarmuseum.com, the sonarmuseum.d. Absolutely no reason to repeat that yet again. So with that we're not doing. But anyway, please go have a look around, join up, let us know who you are, show us your gear, if you want to. And just because you join up doesn't mean you've got to start posting. We would really like that. But I can assure you, there are going to be some things come up that a lot of people are going to want to be involved with. And initially, part of the criteria will be that it's going to be people actively posting on there, working really hard to build up the drum and stage brand. Got a few people that I'm working with on getting some ideas together for the forum, trying to have a vision for the future, trying to figure out, okay, what's the strategic plan here? What do I, what does drum and stage, what do we want that to mean in a year? Is it just going to be a YouTube channel and a forum? No, it's going to be a little bigger than that. And so to get from where we are to where we're going, we got to have a roadmap, and that is going to happen soon. And I've got one really good guy that I'm going to be leaning on a lot. And when I find more that want to get in there and be aggressive with posting and that really obviously want to be a part of what's going on and the direction things are going, uh, there will be a small team of really good people, and I'm pretty excited about that. And anyway, got some content out this week. One was about my introduction to Sonar, which happened uh, in '85 when I first saw and heard the brand, and then in '93 when I became an owner of my first piece of Sonar gear. And the other one was about a dealer fail, which was specific to a dealer we had locally where I lived. And while it was specific to that dealer, it may be indicative of problems that people experience with other dealers as well. When you have a dealership that really doesn't understand the brand and the product. And I say the brand because, Sonar is the longest running manufacturer of professional drum gear. Noble and Cooley was around first, but Noble and Cooley for a long spell manufactured toys. You go look for things from earlier in the 19, in the 1900s, in the, in the 1970s, 60s, all through that era. There were spells, all they made was toys. So, whether or not that, you want to argue that legitimately makes them the oldest in the world, I'm not gonna get into that. But anyway, I think my statement's true. They're the longest running manufacturer of professional drums. So the Sonar brand has a big heritage. When you've got a brand that was the brainchild of a corporation and, was not founded long ago by a family, you lack that heritage. And maybe knowing the brand history doesn't matter. But Sonar has a very robust history. They had to literally flee for their lives to the other side of the country. And it all has a lot to do with, how things morphed into what is now modern Sonar. So, understanding your brand is a big deal because the Sonar brand has a long history and a long heritage. That's something you need to understand. And every bit as importantly is understanding your product. And this dealer did not. This dealer didn't understand why I wanted to order a $600 or $700 snare drum when they had a Pro Light Piccolo sitting there for 69.95. True story. So anyway, I'm not sure how much of that sort of thing goes on in modern times with the internet age, but it happened then, and that might be a video worth watching for you. If you just like to watch things and just see somebody else's perspective and experiences. I've got another interview. I actually started it, not an interview. I got another video coming, and I started it yesterday, but I stopped it. I'm going to start it from scratch when I get back on it. But it's going to be the rise and fall of drum and stage, and I'm talking about my Sonar dealership 20 years ago. Uh, at the end of this year will actually be 20 years ago that it went out of business. And so I'm going to talk about what got that started, and and why it fell apart, and a few factors that helped it die a pretty quick death once it became mortally injured. So anyway, I guess that's enough for a Friday morning here. I'm going to let you get on your way. be watching for another video today about the message board forum, whatever you want to call it. And please go sign up for that. I can't say that enough. I think you're going to get in there and really enjoy some content that's in there right now. And I think you're going to see the potential for some great things. One thing I do want to point out, there are a lot of Facebook pages these days, and the difference between what we're doing and a Facebook page is when you go to the Facebook page, you see an order of posting or responses or whatever. And in this type thing, you've got a very organized and categorized list of topics, comments, and all that sort of thing. And it's a better structure for what we're doing. And I have a drum and stage Facebook page. It's not very active. You're competing against a lot of other Facebook pages, and um, you know, one more really doesn't make that big of a difference. And you know, how can you be that different in a Facebook page? You can pick a certain range of topics and focus on that, and most of them are. Some of them are more vintage focused, some of them are not. But go look at what we've got going on, and hey, I'm taking suggestions. If you get in there and you see something that, you know what, I just don't like this, and I do listen to feedback. I've made several changes, some of them pretty big changes, based on people saying, hey, can you do this? And then I look at it and I'm like, I should have I should have done that to start with. But you can't always see everything from every angle. So I always welcome feedback. And I'm going to bid you a good Friday, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you.